It is going to give you a shock. I got it. So in case the welding rod is stuck, do not remove the eye blind before removing the welding rod. Actual metal weld is below that surface. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of We Builds, and in this one, see the helicopter. Can you see it? Oh yeah, right there. In this video, we'll be going one step forward in the DIY world. I have ordered a welding machine. I'll be unboxing that machine, share some reviews about it, and I'll be doing my first weld. So the best part will be the tips and tricks. Like if you are also new to welding like me, whatever I learn, I'll just share it with you. Look at this. My first weld was this. Anybody can tell it's a novice thing. And my second weld is this. There's a huge difference, man. I'm a quick learner. It is iBell welding machine with some discount. I think it cost me around 5,500 on Amazon. I'll put up the link in description if you want. So these are the wires which will be connected to the welding machine. First one is the holder, and you are supposed to put up a rod in here. This will be connected to the positive of the machine, one wire, and the other one is this ground wire. Just put it on any metal surface which you have to weld. Goggle, or you can welding screen, I should say. It has this flap which is supposed to prevent your eyes from damage from the welding machine because it's too bright. This is a brush which you'll need to clean your welds. Ta-da! So it comes with a manual. Here is the welding machine. Wow, it's really compact and not that heavy as I expected. Comes with a strap. In the front you have this controls the ampere and this controls the arc force. These are two things we can talk about later. Here are three LEDs, one for power, one for heat, one for QC. So power is always on, heat is when the machine is heating up, so the heat one comes up, and the QC is when there's over voltage or anything. So basically if any of the LEDs except the power one is on, you should be concerned. Negative and positive. So we are supposed to connect the holder and the ground wires here. We'll do that in a bit. Here is the cooling fan and a power button. This is the cord that we are supposed to connect to the power. Okay, yeah, really compact. I really like it because usually the welding machines I've seen, they are huge. Here are some welding rods. You have the specifications on these, so you're supposed to use different sizes based on the thickness of the metal that you are about to weld, and they have some markings over here. So it says 6013. This is the most versatile one according to my knowledge, and you can use it to, like, for the beginners, this is the best one you should use. So there, if you see, there are little slots in there where you can place this. I think those are based on the size of it. I've seen that people, the welders, they bend this rod for their convenience a bit like this, so that it's easy to tap over the surface. But yeah, I don't think I need it. I can just do it like this. This thing comes with a 2 years warranty. Let me just quickly go through the operator's manual. There are 2-3 things that I found worth noting. Let me share those things with you. Basically, the safety instructions, all they say is do not touch any live circuit things. Like if you are welding, then do not touch any bare metal parts. Either they will be too hot or there will be current in that, and be properly insulated so that you don't get an electric shock. Also, do not use this in a wet or damp environment. So that's like the crux of the safety precautions that they have. Another interesting thing that I found was, yeah, this one, a diameter of welding rod and welding current. So basically the thing is, it shows you the diameter of the welding rod and the current settings that you should use. This is really good and very useful diagram, the chart. And then other than that, thickness of the steel plate that you are welding, according to that, the diameter of the welding rod that you should use is also here. So this thing is really helpful. Next is the type of weld that you are getting. If you compare this your type of weld with this diagram, so you'll be able to know what is the off settings, and you'll be able to correct it. So like if you this is the perfect weld to start with. So if you are getting a weld like this, you'll know that it is perfect. If you have anything other than that, like this one is arc too short, this one is arc too long, electrode move too slowly, electrode move too quickly, current too low, current too high, and then you have to tweak the settings based on that. So this is really nice. This is all that I got from this manual. Let's suit up for the weld. This is the only suiting up that I'll be doing. Ta-da! What the fuck? Yeah. Ta-da! Okay, so right now I cannot see anything. Oh yeah, when I see outside there's a lot of light so I can see, but inside it's all black. So I found these two metal pieces. Let's weld them for no good reason. Guys, I've successfully completed my first weld and it was scary. Here it is. Turns out this blade was too thin and my weld has cut through it. Check this out. The first mistake that you might do is touching it immediately after the weld. Beware, this stays hot for a long time, so do not try to touch it after the weld. You are hot also? No, you're not. So I'll just take it off. Did I ruin the tiles? My mom is going to kill me. Oh crap. First lesson is do not weld it inside your room. Find a better place or just cover it with something, because these things stick to the tiles. They are not coming off. Oh yeah, a brush. Let's see. Nope. Made a saw unintentionally. I can use it to cut through anything with a good handle, but yeah, it is still hot. So when I was welding, the rod was sticking to it, so that I read in the manual. And not in the manual, I think in the YouTube videos I saw, if the rod is sticking, that means the current or voltage is too low. That's why I increased it, and then I was able to make this weld, but it burned through everything. So my mom would obviously not be happy because I messed up the floor, but I am happy because this is my first weld. Should I take a picture and frame it somewhere? No. Okay, yeah, so this is my first weld. Didn't turn out to be so good. Now I will compare it with the diagrams and see how I can improve it. Then I'll practice comparing it to the diagram for feedback. There is no diagram for you burned everything up, so I don't know what to do next. So guys, I'm done with my first weld. Even I have done a full-fledged welding project as well. So I have some tips and tricks and reviews to share with you. So the first one is safety. So never ever touch the welding rod when it is connected, when it is live, because if you touch it by mistake, it won't affect you so much. But in case by mistake any of your body part is connected to the ground, and to the ground, or the metal which is connected to the ground, if you're touching it by mistake, and then if you touch the welding rod, it is going to give you a shock. I got it. So that's why I'm telling you, so be careful about that. So a lot of time, if it happens that when you try to weld, the rod sticks to the surface and it creates a problem. So for that I have two things to share. First is, a normal sticking for a second or so is fine, but if it is sticking too much, that means your current is too low, so you need to increase the current. The next one is about your eye safety. Whenever the rod gets stuck and it stops welding, there's no arc, so I unintentionally moved the welding screen from my eyes, and when I try to remove the rod, it's the spark comes again, and it hurts the eyes really bad, and you will feel it that you won't be able to see properly for a second or so. So in case the welding rod is stuck, do not remove the eye cover, do not remove the eye blind before removing the welding rod from the surface where it is stuck. Other than the amperes, the next thing is the arc force. So in case your metal surface is very rusted or it is painted, then in that case you might need to use increase the arc force a little. So that's how you'll be able to weld the rusted or the surfaces which are not clean metal. Yeah. And the most important tip that I would like to share with you after my first weld is, do not keep the welding rod perpendicular to the surface that you're welding, because that might burn holes into the surface that you're welding. So keep the welding rod at an angle while welding. So because I saw this before also, but my first reaction when I started welding, my first go-to thing was that I put it perpendicular, and it actually burned through the metal surface, and it created a big hole which I had to cover with a different metal plate. Another tip is, in case when you're welding there are a lot of sparks flying around and metal melt pieces of metals, if they are flying around, that means your current is too high. You need to decrease the current a bit, or if you're burning holes into the metal again, it's either the angle of the rod or your current is too high. And the most important one, if you don't want your mom to beat you to death, is do not weld inside on the polished surface of your home, on the tiles or wooden surface. Do not weld there. Find a good concrete surface, or maybe a surface which you won't mind destroying, because I did that and I showed you in the video. There were some small metal pieces and it actually burned through the tiles, and there are marks which you cannot remove by anything. There you need to keep the rod a little away from the surface, like maybe 1 millimeter or something, and then you just keep going with a steady hand. That's how you weld. So you don't just keep on pulling back and forward. After the welding is done, you might see a smooth surface, but the actual metal weld is below that surface, because there's a black layer of, I should say, flux which get deposited on that. So you need to hammer it a bit, and when you hammer it and remove it, then is the time that you see the actual weld. So it happened with me that I assumed that the weld is good, but when I hammered it down, I found that it was just flux and it broke away and there was holes inside the weld. So that's another thing you should take care of. So time for the reviews. So this machine, I have now used it for one of my big projects, that is a swing. You can check out my other video, I'll put a card up. So I have used it for a long time now, like 2-3 weeks, and this machine performed really well. So I absolutely recommend this. This is a really nice product. So when I checked with people who the professional welders, they said that these kind of compact machines do not work for a long period of time. You cannot continuously weld or something, but I did not find it to be the case. And if you want to use this welding machine for your household purposes, this is excellent. You don't have to think twice, just buy it. If you are thinking of using it professionally, also I feel that it can work for you, because it is quite in the budget. I can still give it a go, but yeah, professional welders obviously you can get a better one if you have a higher investment. But if you don't, in that case, this is a really nice machine. It is value for money, that's what I would say. Yeah. Okay, so remember to check out the swing video, my first welding project. It's really nice and strong. And keep watching me builds. Like, share, subscribe. That's all. Bye bye. See you in the next one.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing.
This guy's not slowing down. Yeah, that's confirmed. He's not stopping. Code 3.